Hey, what's up guys, Aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and the potential start of a brand new series on the channel. Now, Formula 1, obviously, I would assume all of us love the sport. If not, I don't know how on earth you got to this video on my channel, but there we go. But it's a sport we all love. But we all know that the fans, even me included, you guys at home, are very opinionated at times when it comes to hot takes on what happened in certain situations, whether it be the Grand Prix, really, and off-track stuff really happening in Formula 1. So I thought I'd delve into the comment section of the official Formula 1 videos. To be exact, right now with this tester video, aptly named actually, we're going to look underneath the comment section of the F1 2020 testing week 1 videos to see what are some of the worst, the best, the funniest comments there, and basically just react to them and see what's what, and see what you guys, the general Formula 1 general public of fans, are thinking after watching these highlights. I'll fully admit the base level of this idea is nothing groundbreaking, of course. It's been done by about a million people in different genres. I personally actually just thought I'd kind of copy Funhouse comments, if anyone knows Funhouse there. So, yeah, sorry lads, but I thought I'd just kind of, take that, apply it to Formula 1, and see what's what. I've got my trusty notebook here, so I'm also nicking that off Sky F1 and Ted, so cheers for that, Ted. So let's delve into the top comments after day one. Day one, the first day, breaking ground, early days, teams are taking it nice and easy, but this is also the time for the biggest surprises to come out for the first time, because certain teams don't actually show their proper cars until they get to this day of testing. And, well, Racing Point, there was something to say about them. There were so many reactions to Racing Point rocking up with a car that looks similar to last year's Mercedes car. The top ones here after day one were Haas gets parts from Ferrari, Racing Point just buys the whole Mercedes 2019 car, which they pretty much did. I mean, if you look at it, if you splice it down the middle, it literally is the same car. It's like the engineers were told just to copy Mercedes' homework, just change it slightly. So they just change the opacity and the color on Photoshop basically when they're doing the liquor paint, and boom, you got the Racing Point car of 2020. We've got a comment in relation to the standings at the final day of day one. We've got number 1, Mercedes W11, number 2, Mercedes W11, number 3, Mercedes W10, because Perez ends up getting P3. That Racing Point, surprise, surprise, when you copy the world champions of last year, you could end up with a pretty damn quick car. There was a hilarious moment where some of the engineers of the Racing Point team had to actually do something with one of the stickers on the sponsors of the front nose cone, so they're chipping away at that, and loads of people were making jokes that there was actually them chipping away at some old pink paint, maybe revealing the silver underneath, and that kind of got me thinking it's almost like Racing Point got a Need for Speed barn fine. Like if you've ever played Need for Speed 2015 especially, and Payback as well with the barn fines, it's almost like Racing Point scoured the land of the UK, found in like some old shed, rotting away 2019 Mercedes car, some rust on there, and they just dusted it off, licked it up with some pink paint, and there you go, they got this year's car. I mean, to be fair, for a team like Racing Point that loves to save on their budget, it's a pretty good 200 IQ play, to be fair. Finally, at least for day one of the Racing Point comments, we've got Racing Point shows up in the 2019 Mercedes, rest of the midfield, wait, that's illegal. Or should I say, because we found out later in the test that Mercedes have a brand new steering wheel axis system, it should be, wait, that's illegal. Yeah, okay, I'll see myself out. Yeah, cool, cheers, bye. Now, Ferrari were pretty quiet on day one. I mean, the season hadn't even begun, and Sebastian Vettel had already taken an L. He was actually ill on the morning of day one of testing, so he was meant to be in for the morning shift, but he actually turned up and just said, yeah, I'm just too ill. I think secretly, he looked at the car, looked at everyone else's at launch, and quickly realized, yeah, we're screwed. It's not a quick car. The later I delay me driving it and spinning it due to a lack of downforce, probably the better. So Ferrari and Vettel took their first L there of day one, and even after day one had finished, it wasn't looking too great for Ferrari. And that's summed up pretty much by this comment: Lewis, that's an interesting tactic, not even in the top 10, because Ferrari couldn't even manage that. I don't have a lot of high hope for Ferrari. It seems like from week one, the entirety of week one, not even day one. To be fair though, Ferrari are doing what Mercedes did last year with a A-spec and a B-spec car in testing. So, and we all know how that turned out for Mercedes. So maybe there's some hope. Maybe Ferrari looking to pull the wool over all our eyes. But knowing Ferrari, that's definitely not the case. You just know back in the factory, Binotto asked the engineers, right, okay, lads, I want you to make a slow car for Spec A and then a fast car for Spec B, the one we'll actually take to Australia. Engineers at Maranello took that in and then repeated to him, okay, yeah, cool, boss, we got it. Make a slow car. We got got you. We got you. No. I said make a slow car for Spec A. Spec A. Make a fast car for Spec B. Slow car for Spec A. Yeah, got you, boss. We're going to turn up with the slow car. Cool. There, that's it. Yeah, cheers. On the flip side, though, it was a very, very positive day for a team like Williams, who didn't even turn up to day one of testing in 2019. So already, they've done well. But to be fair, if you guys know, if you watch my Road to Glory series, it's very easy to seem like you're doing well and achieve great things and, you know, raise the bar when you pretty much had the bar 500 meters below the Earth's crust last year. I think it's very easy for Williams this season to basically rock up to every Grand Prix. Claire Williams can just point to every lap they're doing here in 2020, just like, look, it's better than 2019, so I think we're smashing it. Regarding Williams' resurgence in testing, we got top comments like, Williams seemed like a rocket compared to last year. A rocket. That's just a very 2019 joke, isn't it? I don't know necessarily if it was the actual rocket sponsoring on the car. Maybe it was the red, you know, the Go Faster red. I'm not too, although to be fair, red's actually the same color as Ferrari, so I don't think you can really say that this season. Got Williams probably looking down the pit lane here and saying, why didn't we just copy last year's Mercedes car? Damn it. They definitely missed a trick in that kind of sense. There are some similarities in a way to the side pod area of the Mercedes and the Williams car, but again, like I said, with Williams, I just don't see that working well. You know, Racing Point, they've done a real good job of copying the Mercedes W10, but I feel like if Williams tried to copy last year's Mercedes, something would go wrong. Like, they'll turn up with a car, and you think the head engineer has explained it to his team over like a dodgy phone with like the worst reception there, or faxed it through in 2020. I mean, because, yeah, people use fax machines still in 2020. To be fair, I can't bag on dodgy fax machines because I'm a Man United fan when it comes to football, and so a dodgy fax machine saved our bacon in terms of De Gea not leaving us those years ago. A final comment on Williams here from day one. Me sees Russell in P9, so there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance. If it's like the German GP of last year, there's a chance. You know, if it's going to be wet to dry to wet, potentially, where the Red Bull's in the lead, a Ferrari comes from the back of the grid to the podium, the Mercedes crashes out, then changes the front wing, then both Mercedes spin out of turn one, you've got one Ferrari in the wall, you've got another Red Bull spewing out, you've got a Toro Rosso on the podium. If all that happens, then yeah, there is a chance. We now move on to the smooth talker, that is Kimi Räikkönen. We've got an amazing comment here regarding AlphaTauri's launch, or Tauri, however you pronounce it. We're going to get to that in a minute here, but we've got Kimi Tauri, or Tototeri, or whatever the f it's called. I definitely don't think Kimi's going to be referring to those two teams by their names in terms of even his own team, because we've got another comment literally just painting a picture of that. Kimi saying this year, yeah, I got that Alpha or whatever it's called now in front of me. You mean your teammate? No, not that Alpha, the other Alpha. It is very confusing. Your Alpha with a PH and an Alpha with an F, or I guess maybe kind of how an American would spell it and how the rest of the world would spell it. Americans like to do that a lot with PH versus F up there, but it's definitely going to be a nightmare. I already know Crofty is going to get it wrong at some point. He's going to say Alpha, and then he's going to want to say Romeo, but he says Tauri or Tori, however you want to say it. I mean, I don't know. On the pronunciation alone of that new name for the Toro Rosso team, there's some debate of what it is. Is it Tori? Is it Tauri? I've got to be careful, because one's the name of the Red Bull clothing line, and one of the bunch of idiots in government here in the UK. Now, we already mentioned Mercedes' new steering wheel system, and day two, that's where all the comments and jokes kicked off about Mercedes' new DAS system. We've got some absolute belters of top comments after day number 2. Volkswagen, DAS Auto. Great one. We've got DAS dominating all season. That is my personal favorite, because it's just tragically true, isn't it? It just seems like it's going to happen. It's actually so depressing how good Mercedes look in terms of reliability, or any tyre compound they put on in testing. They've looked quick. Like last year, they went under the radar. They used like the slowest compounds, the middle compound, just did their program. This year, they've strapped on every tyre and looked effortlessly fast. So I think that's probably one of the winning comments of this entire thing, is DAS dominating all season. It just works so well. Only Mercedes would completely reinvent the steering wheel. Like, the thing that's been a tried and tested piece of equipment hasn't needed to change at all in the last few years. You know, yes, it's got more complicated, but as a system, it's fine. It does the job, and only they could find some sort of convoluted way of improving the steering, or the way the camber and toe is of the car. And that's got me thinking, might even get some of you gamers thinking, what are we going to do when F1 2020 the game comes out? Like, if we're driving a Mercedes car, What's gonna happen? Like, I'm gonna have to buy a whole new wheel. I just got a new wheel from Fanatec. I'm gonna have to get a whole new one now. And relating this back to Kimi, can you imagine if Kimi Raikkonen had to deal with DAS? He already has issues getting his steering wheel off his engineers, let alone using the DAS system, pulling it back. He's gonna pull it and think he's breaking it and ask, am I breaking the steering wheel? I need a new one mid-race, mid-straight. But doing a full 360 here and going back to Kimi Raikkonen actually for a second, we got a great comment here about his performance at the end of the day of day number 2. Post the fastest lap and then has a breakdown. The Iceman is back in business. Very Kimi Raikkonen, you know, do the job, do the business, and then go home, have a drink, pop off, just nice and early. And obviously, as it was still fresh in everyone's minds from day number 1, there are plenty more comments about Racing Points and their Mercedes W10B spec car, essentially, for 2020. We've got Ferrari after Racing Point copied the 2019 Mercedes. This is getting out of hand. There are now 2 of them. There's actually 4 of them. There's 2 in testing, of course, that Ferrari can see pretty much in the flesh. One painted pink, one painted silver. But as we move on to day 3, on the top comments in day 3, absolutely to a T here. Everyone, please, 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 no more Mercedes 1-2. Mercedes, I got you, fam. We rock up to Melbourne, Mercedes 1, 2, 3, 4. Crofty, oh my, Crofty across the line is going to be biblical with Racing Point. He is legit going to forget the name. I know there's colours, but I have a feeling there's certain lighting conditions, you know, maybe it's an overcast Grand Prix, the pink starts to look a little bit more grey potentially, or the sun maybe shines on the silver, makes it a little tinge of kind of red, maybe an orange, that kind of blends a little bit and is close to pink. Crofty across the line is not going to have any clue if they cross 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to be like, so it's Hamilton and Perez, no, it's Bottas and it's Stroll, no, that's Bottas, oh god. Like I said, over the entire test, the Ferrari pace was not looking too great in week number 1, and obviously that's going to get Ferrari fans a little bit upset. We've got Binotto, we're not as fast as both Merc and Red Bull fans. Here we go again for the 100th time. To be fair, you got to give to them, Tifosi, Ferrari fans, they're very used to this though, so I'm sure they'll cope. They've probably got the best mental strength of any Formula 1 fans on the grid. And finally, we're going to round out with this amazing comment that really just, I think, will sum up 2020 in a way. I think, obviously, we can't read too much into testing, but yeah, you get that vibe that this is very much going to be it. 2019, Mercedes sandbag, and then win the first 5 races. 2020, Ferrari sandbag, and Mercedes win the first 5 races. That has been the Formula 1 comments underneath week 1 of F1 2020 testing. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, then be sure to smash that button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Like I said, this is a kind of test run for a series I want to do potentially for every single Grand Prix. Let me know what kind of improvements I can make, things you liked about this video, things you didn't like, things you want me to change. I'm looking to do a second one of these, another test run after week 2 of testing, and try and take your feedback from the comment section in this video and try and improve it for that second week. So do let me know in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I usually do a lot of gaming stuff, but I'm looking to do a lot of in real life Formula 1 stuff as well, hopefully over this next year. So do get subscribed for that. And so with that, I've been aarava. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.